Okay, Kelsey, it's all yours.
All right. Well, hello. Welcome everyone to October 26th, LGBTQIA Intersectional Rights Task Force. We'll start with our introductions. We'll do it popcorn style. My name is Kelsey. I use she, her pronouns. And I am a member of Ward 4 and the chair of this task force. And I am going to popcorn to Kathy.
Hey everyone, I'm Kathy Ostran-Ponch and I live in South Salem. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a member of the task force as well as the Human Rights Commission. And I will pass it to Gretchen.
Good evening. My name is Gretchen Bennett. I am staff to the Human Rights Commission and the task force, and I use she, her pronouns.
Oh, Kelsey. You're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Beautiful. I have a little microphone that doesn't show if it's muted or not. Okay, thank you. Thank you both for coming. So we're going to move now into public comment. Gretchen, did we receive any public comments?
We did not. None received tonight.
Okay. All right. And then moving on to approval of minutes is hopefully y'all had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting that we held several weeks ago. So is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes from our, I think it was the August 24th meeting was our last full meeting.
Yes.
Great. Can I second that?
You can in this situation.
Okay, and I'm gonna second that. All right. Any dissent? Perfect. Great. All right. So the minutes have been approved. Okay, so now we're going to move into our Transgender Day of Remembrance section. So we have some updates on speakers. Gretchen, do you want to share the list that you have?
Absolutely. So far confirmed are 3 people who would be readers of names, Snarfy, Tricarico, and Mike, and you'll recognize those names from previous events. And then at this time, that's the only confirmed speakers that I'm aware of. I think we're also interested in who will MC the event. And if you want to add any additional speaking or poetry sections, which sometimes in the past these events have included. Kelsey referred me to a person named Michael, and I sent Michael an email, but haven't heard back. I checked again this evening.
Okay, thank you, Gretchen. I see him almost every day, so I will get with him and have him reply.
Great.
And then, so I know I told Gretchen this, but I will be out of state during this event. But if I am able to, I should be free to like do a virtual portion if that is something that we can do. If we need more speakers or readers, I don't know how that would work.
I actually don't know either, Kelsey. Thank you for asking. I'm not sure how to do that. I think we're seeing the speakers on the stage in Laux. But I think if someone did want to appear remotely, there's quite a large screen that could come down. I would be happy to check with CC Media, who's going to be partnering with me to broadcast the event, and find out if that's a choice. I know there's a way to view remotely, but I'm not sure if there's a way to speak remotely. So let me check on that in this new format.
Okay, yeah. I can also like record like a YouTube video, like
that's true. And we can play a video. We can definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe that's okay. Yeah, that's something that I can do, and maybe that can also like help us gather like some more like speakers or folks if we need to, if that's an option.
Yeah, it is. It really just depends on what you'd like to see in the program. You know, you can have the MC make opening remarks, or you could record the remarks and then turn to readers and then some sort of conclusion statement. As I think about it out loud a minute, Kelsey, it might be smart to have you pre-record just in case something happens with your connection, or that, you know, and then if we're depending on you for the live event, we have people in the audience, it would be nice to have the video in hand in case we lose connection or something.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. Let's see. Trying to think. Yeah, do we have any other updates? Kathy, did you have anything for speakers/readers?
I don't. Couple things. So Gretchen, we talked before about having the names scrolling down. Is that something, would we be using the screen for that? I'm wondering if there's going to be some sort of a PowerPoint or something to have up on the screen when people first walk in.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And then definitely some sort of an introductory remark. And I'm not the one to do that. I'm a terrible public speaker. So if it's just going to be reading names, it's not going to take very long. I mean, it didn't take us very long to go through the list last time. And then if somebody, you know, had some sort of a closing remark, I think that would be nice. But I don't have any ideas for who that would be. Sorry.
I think, Kelsey, if I'm not mistaken, you were thinking about Angelo. You could also reach other human rights commissioners. You could reach mayor or council members. There may be people who coordinate or facilitate organizations in the community that you'd like to connect with for this opportunity. I think all of those are possible ideas.
Yeah, I love that idea. I can do some reach out to folks. Gretchen, I'll CC you on those emails. Because yeah, I think we have a lot of people who are invested in that, like that community, whether they're part of the transgender community or allies. But yeah, I definitely think we can get folks. So are we thinking when people walk in, having the names streaming or holding off until we do the readings?
I think, well, I don't know. What I had pictured was holding off until we do the reading so that the names are streaming as we're reading them. I don't know how we would time that. But you know, have some sort of like maybe the event flyer or something up on the screen when people first walk in.
Yeah, I would be happy to make a like autoplay slideshow with maybe like images or words, and then we can also have like a name slideshow. So the names can be showed while people are reading. Is that kind of what you were thinking, Kathy?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah. And then I can like pre-record a video or two and put it in there.
Kelsey, thank you. I can check first with CC Media and see if they have any input at all into mediums or anything. I'll circle back just in case they say, oh, can we do it this way or that way technically, just to make sure. Thank you. That's hugely wonderful.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for checking on that. Just let me know and I'll put something together. Even though I'll be out of state, I'll still have access to Wi-Fi, and I'll probably bring my laptop. So that's not a problem.
Great.
Okay.
And I've never been in Laux Auditorium. I don't know what it looks like, but should we have some sort of, I don't want to say props, but should we do things to make it look appropriate to the event? I mean, I know we talked about having some sort of battery operated candles. I don't know what else we might have or where those would even go once we're in there.
Yeah. So let's see. Battery operated candles could be handed out by greeters as people arrive so that everyone has one to be able to turn on and hold when we begin to read the names. And then you're right, Kathy, to think about how you want the stage to present. The library has a podium The library also has sort of armchair looking chairs, sort of, that are up there that look a little more sort of cozy, for lack of a better word, with end tables, if you'd like to do that. You could, so for example, you could have a podium, so whoever is speaking is standing at the podium, and then you could have the other speaker sitting in those chairs kind of next to the podium, if you like that idea. So that way it minimizes the up and down, because it is a stage, so there's a little bit of a walk, not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good question. And then, like, would you want flowers on stage? Would you want, I can't do a lit candle, but we could maybe look into one larger battery operated candle that goes up on stage, for example. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about kind of how you want that to present and look.
I think, I don't know, I think a flower arrangement in some sort of a larger candle sounds nice to me. And depending on how the names are divided up, if the readers are going to be getting up and, reading more than one segment, I think the idea of having the chairs on stage would be nice, so that they could get up and read their segment and then sit back down, and then if they're getting up again to read another portion. I like that idea.
That is how we did it before. We broke them up into segments, and I think each reader had 2 or 3 segments.
Okay.
Just to kind of keep it, give people rest and kind of keep it engaging, I think.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So then I'll make sure there's enough chairs on stage along with the podium.
Is there a job, Kelsey, that you would like me to do for that event? I mean, I have it on my calendar. Last year I read names. I didn't do the greatest job because a lot of them, were Spanish names, and I don't speak Spanish. So I did my best, but yeah, if there's something that I can do, let me know. If that's being a greeter or just being there to kind of help, I don't know, general help.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
I think one is whatever you're comfortable with. I would love for like you to be a greeter. I would love for as many people as part of this task force and then the commission to be part of it. So if you're comfortable being a greeter, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do reading, that would be great too. But again, it's what you're comfortable with.
I'm trying to think if three readers are enough. It seems like, I don't know, Gretchen, do you remember how many have done it in the past?
We've done 3 and 4 in the past, so I think both are fine.
If 3 is enough, I'm happy to have the others do it, but depends on how you all feel about if that's too much work for the 3 of them. Are we going to have another meeting between now and then, or some sort of just a quick check-in to make sure everything's lined up and everybody knows what they're doing?
We do have a proposal to move this meeting in November to November 16th.
Okay.
Which is perfectly timed to be a few days before the event. And I was going to ask you both if you'd like to invite everyone who has a speaking role at the event to the November 16th meeting, because it gives everybody a chance, in addition to email instruction, a chance to just talk it through.
I think that would be great.
Yeah, I do too.
While we're on that, does November 16th work for both of you instead of the day before Thanksgiving?
It does. I'm writing it on my calendar as we speak. So yeah.
Perfect. November 16th at 6 p.m. it is, and I'll invite Snarfy, Mike, and Tricarico, and Michael, if we confirm Michael. Perfect. And maybe even CC Media. If I can get the CC Media person there, I think that would be smart too.
I was going to say, if we have the full Human Rights Commission meeting on the 9th, we could all, I mean, if anybody else is interested in participating or helping somehow, ask them if they want to come to that next meeting.
Yeah. We could certainly use more people up at the front greeting just in case we get a good crowd. I mean, that would always be a great role. And if people wanted to chat or talk, it'd be nice to have a few people available for that, Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Kelsey, last year, Mike and I distributed flyers around the downtown area, like probably, I don't think it was a full week before, but the week before, just to get the word out. I don't know if if you have any other thoughts about how to get, I did see a Facebook post from the city's Facebook page earlier. I think it was this week about that. So just to get the word out to the people know it's happening and that it's in person this year, or I guess it's hybrid. so they know that if they want to attend in person, they can come.
Yeah, I think, Kathy, this is a perfect segue into the next section, which is publicity. So
Yes.
So we have a flyer that I think it's good to go.
Yes, I think so
Okay.
too.
Cool. So question is their budget to print those flyers, or should like I have those printed?
There's budget, I can print.
Okay.
And I want to thank you for designing the flyer. Thank you.
Of course.
So if
Love
you
the
had a
flyer.
sense of how many, like if you imagined how many you think there's locations for, and Kathy, I remember last year we printed some poor sizes. So we want to also be really specific. I need to tell Copy Center exactly the sizes that we want too.
Yeah, I think 8.5 by 11 was probably the right size because that would fit on bulletin boards and in windows and things. And I don't remember how many we passed out. I don't. We definitely did not use all of them. I don't have. I mean, no more than 50 for sure. That even seems like a high number to me. You know, we just kind of walked around and handed them to people at different restaurants and shops and things that we thought would be willing to put them up, and most people were. So yeah, and they can be posted around town, like at Willamette and different places that we know of without having to like get permission. But you know, if we know a place where people will see them, we can do that too.
Yeah, I think 50 is a good number. And I would be happy to either myself or Kathy, if you and I want to team up, go downtown and like ask businesses to put them up. I agree, Willamette would be a really great one. I think even if since it's not in Salem, but I think Western Oregon would, because I don't think Monmouth has a Day of Remembrance. I think they'd probably be interested. So yeah, I think 50 is a great number.
That sounds good. I'll get them printed and then let you know when they're ready. And I can also send some print around to different city departments that are publicly facing, like Center 50 Plus and the library. I can also do an email to the different community organizations and people that I think would have interest too. So I'll make sure to also distribute it that way as well. The city also did it and they have a Friday email message, something connections. I forget what it's called, but it goes out to a fairly large number of people that subscribe to a weekly email by the city that does updates. And it was in last Friday's email update as well to people. I think where I'm not seeing it yet is on our webpage. I was looking today for it and I didn't see it. So I need to follow up and make sure we're getting it into the city's webpage as well.
Could we do something closer? And maybe this is already in the plan, but do something closer in time. I mean, we're still more than 3 weeks away. So do something like the week before, a reminder if too much time has passed and people have forgotten about it by then.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
I'll set a note.
Great. Kathy, maybe we can email and discuss if you want to help pass those out. I'll send you an email.
Yeah, I'm happy to if it works in my schedule for that week. We can see if we can coordinate. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. Going back to the like setup of the room, did we procure candles, the electric candles?
Not yet. I've asked around a little bit, like who might already have them. I was trying to see if we could borrow them instead of buying them. What we have is a good supply of real candles, but I'm not allowed to light them inside, so it's such a bummer. But I haven't yet found anybody with a good supply of the battery tea lights. So I can certainly purchase them with city budget if necessary, but I guess I was hoping to borrow just to save the money. But yeah. I don't know if either of you know anyone. I don't know anybody that has that many in the battery way.
Yeah, all I know are real candles for like vigils and things.
Yeah.
I'll look around and ask around, but yeah, we might have to buy some.
We're probably at the point where I need to call it and buy them. Yeah. How many do you think we should be sure to have? I don't think we've broken 50 in attendance yet at the event, but you always want to hope. I mean, I would say at least 100 personally, just to make sure we have plenty.
I'm comfortable with 100.
I think so. And then assuming that we get them back, then we'll have them for the next
Right.
year.
Right. Yeah, our greeters could both hand them out in the beginning and collect them upon return. I can make sure to have a couple of baskets on hand that we can use for that purpose.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so we talked about speakers in a program, publicity, and kind of day of logistics, but let's go into some more details. So the event starts at 7. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what time do we want folks to get there to help set up? Is 6 too early?
You know, the library will have the event set up for us. So I would even say 6:15 should be fine. I think it's just getting ahead of the public. We might have some early arrivers at the public. So, 6:15, 6:30 makes sense to me. I would definitely be there by then. I would come a little early to just confirm that the library has it set up properly and be able to reach colleagues if not. So I would think, yeah, I would, somewhere between 6 and 6:30 makes sense to me.
Okay. Do we want to aim for 6:15? And then if people need to get there at 6:30, then
Yeah.
that's fine.
Better to aim for 6:15 than to have them arrive at 6:45, I think.
I agree, because you want people in place and ready to receive the public. And that could be something you invite the human rights commissioners at the next meeting, like, can you serve as a greeter? Here's what we want you here by. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good. So we'll start off, we'll have a slideshow, kind of like general things. I'm assuming we'll have speakers. So do we want like music?
That's actually been an interesting conversation in the past. Our founding chair of this task force felt really strongly that music not be a part of the event. Speaking about music being such a positive and enriching part of her life, she really didn't want that to amplify this event. She wanted this event to have that somber experience that didn't include music and felt strongly. And so we haven't yet included music. We haven't included music as a result of that perspective from the very beginning. That could be changed. Different people would look at that differently, but I know that was important to the founding task force chair. So we didn't ever do music. Poetry was included. We had sort of an essay that was read, a poem that was read, but didn't ever include music. So it's sort of a quieter experience as a result.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine either way. I think obviously no like pumping music. But yeah, if we want music or don't want music, I'm fine.
And I certainly defer to you both. Yeah, just bringing in that history.
Yeah. Kathy, do you have thoughts?
It makes sense to me to not have music, but I guess it depends on the music. But I'm okay with it being just quiet.
I love it. All right. Sounds good. No music. And then we will have an introduction, maybe by me, through pre-recorded video. Hopefully Angelo hasn't gotten back to me about emceeing. So I'm hoping we hear back from him soon. I'll follow up with him. And then we'll start are we wanting to start with speakers and then go into reading?
I think it depends on how many speakers we have. So certainly someone to introduce the event. If we have speakers, you could kind of break it up where maybe, well, I don't know. Would that work, or do we want all the names read at the same time? I don't know.
I think we can sandwich the reading. I would say like all of them at the same time. That's a little bit more impactful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we can have like a speaker reading names and then a speaker. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then fit all of our speakers in kind of between there. And then kind of a wrap up, or is there other things that we're thinking?
I don't know what else would be included. Go ahead, Gretchen.
I know, trying to remember, a couple of years ago, there was some recognition that after the event, people may want to connect, like the closing speaker could say something around like, we'll be here for another half an hour or what have you, you know, in case anyone would like to talk or discuss, you know, or hear more about the Human Rights Commission, or, you know, however, I can't remember how that was phrased, but I think I must have a copy of the remark just in case people wanted to stay a little bit and kind of process the thoughts and feelings. There may be other ways of interaction or interacting. The audience has the interaction of turning on their tea light candle, like they get prompted at the beginning of the readings. The speaker before the names, or the first reader of names, can invite people to light their candle. But if there's other ways of interacting that you think people might like, I can't recall any, but I remember that question coming up in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the idea of in that wrap up, like offering like resources and information, and kind of like giving that space if they need like some reflection time or conversation time. I like that idea. Okay. Anything else for Day of Logistics?
Do you want the readers to also come at 6:15, or do you have a preference for what time you think we should invite readers to be there by?
I think maybe 6:45. What do you think, Gretchen and Kathy?
6:45 is, you know, as long as they would be, I mean, maybe we might tell them a little bit earlier in case something comes up, or they, you know, if they get delayed a little bit. We don't want to be holding the event for them.
Right. Maybe I'd say 6:30, no later than 6:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good. Yeah. Good plan. Good idea.
I mean, something, you know, things always come up. Everybody has the best intentions, but you never know what, you know, traffic or who knows, something might happen.
Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I can't think of any other questions, so this was really helpful to just walk through the event this precisely. I think that's really helpful.
Same. Yes. Okay. So we'll talk more about this and get like hopefully some more people from the commission to be a part of this evening at our next meeting. So hopefully that will happen. Anything else for the Day of Remembrance?
I feel like we've covered it all.
Okay.
At least everything I could think of.
Well, thank you both for all your help in putting this together. And yeah, I really appreciate it. And then we are going into our Safe Spaces partnerships. So Gretchen, I'm assuming you maybe have some updates about potential partnerships?
Yeah, thank you. Again, looking at how we can carry out these ideas, but have some help given the potential, you know, need to be able to reach and interface with businesses and organizations, and the need for capacity. One idea that's kind of interesting is I had a brief conversation with folks over at Chemeketa Community College. Chemeketa has a common mission in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and in trying to create a safe space in a way that it's very similar to the vision of the task force. One of the things that they do that they added is kind of a curriculum, a pre-certification opportunity for learning that was an interesting piece. But they're working right now on making all of that online so that it could be more accessible, because I think right now components of it are in person. But I shared the task force's vision and the work that's been done to date. And they're very interested in exploring, kind of looking at and exploring the possible connections or partnerships. Another asset they have is they operate the Center for Business and Industry downtown, which has a lot of resources for new and emerging businesses that are seeking resources. And so that could also be a really logical touch point where companies could receive technical assistance and information. So that might be a part of the partnership to explore. The only other partnership that I've thought about and that I've touched base briefly with them on is circling back to where we started with Salem Police Department. You might remember that they initially brought an idea that was based on Seattle's Safe Spaces program. And in that case, it's less about kind of certifying a number of elements in place for accessibility. And it's more about having information and being committed to assist with a bias incident or crime, and being committed to assist a victim with reporting or handling it if there is a bias incident. So it's different. And I know initially our task force thought, no, we wanted to go in a different direction, but it is possible to circle back with them as well and say, why don't we pursue that concept for a little bit and see what pieces might be interwoven. So I think I can see two possible partnerships right now to explore, and there may be others, but wanted to bring those for discussions. Those are the conversations I've had to date.
I really like the idea to loop in Chemeketa. They are doing amazing work, and I know they have a lot of resources and like both human resources and then like other resources. I do have concerns about looping the program, like interweaving it too much with the Salem Police Department, just because of like the history behind police and people who kind of need safe spaces, which is everyone, but specifically like BIPOC and LGBTQIA plus folks. So I think if we could explore the Chemeketa direction first, I think that's what I would prefer. But also it's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I'm not that familiar with Chemeketa or their program, but I definitely think that we don't want to get too I agree with you about the police department, only because a lot of people don't feel safe with the police, and so we don't want to try to make a safe spaces project and automatically create it in an unsafe way. I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you there.
Would you be interested in a being open to a meeting with our Chemeketa partners to begin to sort of explore it? You could share, we could share what we have, hear what they have, and then start looking for alignment in the next steps. Great. I'm unsure if this time would be one that's workable for them, but I could certainly start there. If it's not, are you both open or interested in potential other times? Like I could reach you about scheduling?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, great. And I will follow up and get back to you. If they are available, I imagine I might recommend suggesting that conversation happen at the December meeting instead of November, because I think November you might want to zero in on Transgender Day of Remembrance. What do you think?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would aim for the December meeting of this task force or an alternate time if that doesn't work for them. Copy. Okay. Actually, do we need to look at the December? While I'm doing that, if you don't mind, can we take a quick, I'm going to look at December. November and December tend to be hard. The fourth, we meet the fourth Wednesday of the month. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm actually unavailable December 28th. But for example, I could meet the week prior, December 21st, just like we've done in November. I don't know if that's a solution for you both, or if you'd like me to do a scheduling poll to see about alternatives, but what do you, it might be helpful to pin that down as I reach out to Shemeketa.
I'm free on the 21st. I think I'm free every Wednesday in December.
I could do the 21st.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Would you mind if we just make the decision to move the December meeting to the 21st? Thank you. That's perfect. Okay. Then we can plan on that. And I'll reach out to Shemeketa and see if that date and time works. Perfect. Well, good.
Beautiful. This is
Yeah.
great. I'm so excited that you thought of those partnerships. Thank you, Gretchen.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Okay, anything else for the Safe Spaces? Okay. So November meeting, we already talked about that. So we're moving the November meeting to the 16th. And then last is member remarks and announcements.
I don't have any announcements, but I do want to let you know, Kelsey, at some point in the next few months, I'm probably going to step off of the task force. I was going to say the end of the year. I was going to say after Transgender Day of Remembrance, but I kind of want to be at the meeting for the Shemeketa to talk about the partnership and hear what they have to say. I just know that going into the new year, I've got other things that are going to come up. And so I'm trying to thin out a little bit of the things I've been working on. And I also don't want to leave it to be, I know Kelsey is also a member. I don't want to leave it to be like a task force of 1 or 2, but I just want to give you a heads up at some point in the next few months, I'm probably going to step off, but I'll stick with it for now.
Okay, well, I'm sad to hear that, but I'm glad that we looked you back in for a couple months. And like, I know you're not leaving quite yet, but like, Kathy, you've been an amazing task force member, and I know you're still going on the commission, but an amazing commission member. So thank you so much for your work and your continued work, and I'll really savor those last couple months.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I think that the work is really important, and it's not like I don't want to be on the task force. It's just that something has to give somewhere. So,
right.
Yeah.
We can't do everything, and that's
no.
okay.
As much as it would be nice, there does need to be time for other things and sleep and things like that. So, yeah.
Yes, you got to be well.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever find time in your schedule, you're always welcome to come.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other remarks or announcements?
Kelsey, hearing that from Kathy, it might be helpful to mention at the Human Rights Commission about how much membership would be welcome. I know we have 2 newer members in Greg and Hope, for example, and there might be other interest. And also our committees and task forces can have people who aren't on the commission. So we can also welcome general community members. And another approach, sometimes the commission will sunset a task force or a committee, but continue to do the primary work of that committee just as part of the main group. So like the group could continue Safe Spaces and Transgender Day of Remembrance and have particular people who work on things, but then bring it back to the full commission for working and discussing as opposed to a subcommittee meeting. So those are all choices just to be thinking about the options.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And it's also good to know that we can have like general non-commission members part of this. So I'll put some bugs in some ears.
Great.
I think when I first joined, I think there might have been 2 non-commission members of the task force who have both gone on to do other things. But yeah, I think that I like that because then you get other perspectives too, which are so important.
Right, right. And I'll mention this at the commission meeting. Yeah, we have some new members and hopefully they're feeling ready to join the task force. So yeah, we'll get some recruitment going. I don't think I have any remarks or announcements. Gretchen, do you have anything? Or Kathy,
No.
do you have anything else?
No.
I'm good.
Okay, so it sounds like we have some work to do. I'll send some emails and reaching out, and yeah, we'll get going.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Okay.
Kelsey.
Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything else?
We got it.
Great. Thanks for being such an awesome team.
Thank
you for leading us. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, I will talk to y'all soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks.